A normal slice of mild gorgonzola, about 50 grams, is a small concentrate of nutrients that the human body recognizes and uses in a very precise way. In this amount, we mainly find three large categories of substances: proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, with the addition of vitamins and mineral salts. The proteins present are around 9 to 10 grams and are of high quality because they come from milk. They contain all the essential amino acids, that is the ones the body cannot produce on its own and must obtain from food. The total fats are about 15-17 grams and represent the most dense energy part of the cheese. Within these fats, an important share is made up of saturated fats, about 10-11 grams, which are typical of animal products. Then we find monounsaturated fats, about 4 to 5 grams, and a small part of polyunsaturated fats, about 0.5 to 1 gram. Cholesterol is also present, in an amount that for a 50-gram slice is around 40-45 mg. Carbohydrates are few, about 1 to 2 grams, mainly residual lactose, the natural sugar of milk, partly reduced by the processing and maturation of the cheese, but still present. From a vitamin point of view, a slice of gorgonzola provides vitamin A in the form of retinol, useful for eyesight, skin, and mucous membranes, and several B group vitamins. Among these, vitamin B2, riboflavin, contributes to energy metabolism. Vitamin B12 is essential for the formation of red blood cells and for the proper functioning of the nervous system. And there are also small amounts of B6 niacin, B3, and pantothenic acid, B5, which take part in numerous metabolic reactions. Fat-soluble vitamins such as A are bound to the fat component of the cheese, while B-group vitamins, which are water-soluble, travel in the watery part. On the mineral side, gorgonzola is particularly rich in calcium. In 50 grams there are about 250-300 molar, a significant share compared to the daily requirement, important for the maintenance of bones and teeth. Along with calcium there is phosphorus, which with calcium forms the mineral structure of bone and also takes part in energy production in cells. Sodium is abundant, because gorgonzola is a rather salty cheese. This mineral regulates the balance of body fluids and affects blood pressure, so anyone with hypertension must pay attention to the quantities. In trace amounts we also find zinc, involved in the immune system and wound healing, magnesium, which is useful for muscles and the nervous system, and potassium. Once it is put in the mouth, the slice is chewed. The teeth break the mass of the cheese into smaller pieces, increasing the surface area in contact with digestive enzymes. Saliva begins carbohydrate digestion thanks to amylase, but in the case of gorgonzola the work is minimal because the sugars are few. The food bolus then descends through the esophagus and reaches the stomach, where the environment is very acidic. Here, hydrochloric acid denatures the proteins, meaning it changes their structure and makes them more accessible to enzymes such as pepsin, which cuts them into shorter chains called peptides. Fats in the stomach begin to be partially emulsified, but their real digestion will mainly occur in the small intestine. From the pylorus, the contents of the stomach are released little by little into the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine, where bile produced by the liver and pancreatic enzymes also arrive. Bile works like a natural detergent. It surrounds the fat droplets from the gorgonzola and turns them into smaller, more stable droplets in water, making the job of pancreatic lipase easier. This enzyme breaks triglycerides into free fatty acids and monoglycerides. These fragments, together with bile salts, form small structures called micelles that can come close to the intestinal wall. Once in contact with the intestinal cells, the fatty acids and monoglycerides enter these cells, where they are reassembled into triglycerides and packed into particles called chylomicrons. The chylomicrons enter the lymphatic system and then the bloodstream, distributing fats to various tissues, to the muscles to provide energy, to the adipose tissue for storage, to the liver for further metabolic transformations. Along with the fats, the fat-soluble vitamins also travel, such as vitamin A, which in this way reaches the eyes, the skin, and other tissues that need it, Meanwhile, the proteins of the gorgonzola, already partially broken down in the stomach, are further digested in the small intestine by enzymes such as trypsin, chymotrypsin, and other peptidases, which break them down into single amino acids. These amino acids cross the intestinal wall and enter the portal circulation, which carries them to the liver. From there, they are distributed to cells throughout the body to build and repair muscles, produce enzymes, hormones, antibodies, and other essential proteins. If the protein intake is higher than the immediate need, part of the amino acids can be converted into energy or transformed into stored fat. The few carbohydrates present, mainly lactose, are instead digested by the enzyme lactase, which is found on the surface of intestinal cells. Lactose is split into glucose and galactose, which are absorbed and used as a rapid source of energy or stored as glycogen in the liver and muscles. If a person is lactose intolerant and the lactase enzyme is poorly present, this sugar can reach the colon undigested, where it is fermented by bacteria, causing bloating, gas, and other discomforts. The water-soluble B group vitamins are also absorbed in the small intestine by specific transporters, once in the blood. They take part in numerous chemical reactions that transform nutrients into usable energy for the cells, contribute to the production of red blood cells, and support the proper functioning of the nervous system. The mineral salts follow their own specific absorption pathways. Calcium is absorbed mainly in the duodenum and jejunum, partly through a mechanism that depends on vitamin D and partly through passive transport. Once in the blood, calcium is deposited in the bones and teeth or kept in circulation to allow muscle contraction, nerve impulse transmission, and blood clotting. Phosphorus is absorbed together with calcium and also contributes to bone structure and to the production of ATP, the cell's main energy molecule. Sodium, very abundant in gorgonzola, easily enters the blood and helps maintain the volume of extracellular fluids and blood pressure. Zinc, magnesium, and potassium are also absorbed in the intestine and distributed to the tissues where they take part in enzymatic reactions, in muscle and nerve function, and in maintaining electrolyte balance. In this way, what at the beginning was simply a slice of cheese, with a strong flavor, is dismantled piece by piece into elementary components that the body recognizes, selects and uses to produce energy, build and repair tissues, support vital functions and maintain internal balance.